This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi everybody. For those who are first timers here, relax, sit as comfortably as possible. Welcome all perceptions without any judging, evaluating, interpreting, just the facts, just what appears from moment to moment in your consciousness. See whether, as you do this, you can reach a condition which is absolutely neutral, meaning in which there is no fear, no desire, at least for the duration of this experiment. Not expecting something pleasurable, but the feeling that there is no sense of lack. Now, as long as we believe to be a human body, there is going to be a sense of lack in the body. So there is no need yet to really investigate the sense of lack in the body, because we are constantly feeding it, fueling it with our belief to be separate. I mean, it may be interesting to notice its nature, how it appears. But as long as we believe to be a separate human being, this sense of lack, this fear and desire, will seem to be justified. And that's a problem. It will appear to be there for a good reason. Whereas the moment we have open to the possibility that our reality, which we experience as awareness, but that our real self, our real being, is universal rather than limited and restricted to this human body, then if there is this openness, then the umbilical cord that ties together the sense of lack, fear, and desire in the body, and our absolute certainty to be mortal human being, is cut, is no longer active, doesn't fuel any longer the embryo of ignorance, if you will, that resides in the body. And then we can look at it. We can look at the sense of lack. as if we were trying to write a scientific paper on it. How does it manifest? What is it made out of? And you'll see that it manifests as a response of the body to fear and desire. In other words, what is lacking is for the body to be in a state free from fear or desire. What is lacking is for the body to be in its natural state. The body wants to be back in its natural state. You can compare this with the analogy of a spring. A spring which has been pulled by a force beyond its neutral position of minimal potential energy. It has been pulled. As a result, there is a tension in the spring. The sense of lack is a similar tension in the body which is asking for its natural state. As long as we believe to be a separate entity, if I continue this metaphor, it is as if we would keep pulling the spring, as if we kept exerting a force on the spring, therefore keeping it out of its tensionless natural state. The moment we release this tension, the spring will oscillate a little bit, but eventually return to its free condition. It's the same here. But just if we're in a hurry, and if you want to accelerate the process whereby the spring comes back to its stable position. As we release the spring, we can gently accompany it with the hand to its position of balance. And there won't be any oscillations. In other words, through this action that comes from our understanding of the properties of the spring, we will absorb in our body the potential energy, the residual potential energy of the spring, and we will bring the spring to its minimal level of potential energy, which is its stable condition, its natural position. It's the same here. This action is the yoga. This action somehow apparently requires some work. From the vantage point of physics, as we bring back the spring to its stable position by gently releasing the tension, there will be some energy that will be transferred from the spring. Some work will be done. So the artificial aspect of this meditation that may involve, as a result, some activity, although a very hidden one, is similar to the work done to naturally, to bring us immediately or very quickly the spring to its natural condition. Now, if we continue this metaphor, once the spring has been brought to its natural condition, temporary external forces may be applied to it. And then they would set the spring into motion. It will oscillate, go back to its natural condition. Because these forces, in this case, the force of fear and desire, won't be continuous, won't be maintained continuously, because they will occur naturally in the course of life. They won't have the permanent artificial quality of ignorance, which was, in this metaphor, was like constantly maintaining the spring in tension. This will be just like pinching the string of a guitar to make it resonate. So then this transition will be natural from the stable condition of the spring, or if we switch metaphor, of the string of the musical instrument, the pinching by life of the events, the external events, will create the music on the instrument. So we will move from the state of minimal energy to a state in which there is a dynamism. But this dynamism will be, if you will, musical. It will resonate in harmony with the rest of the universe. Instead of being artificially kept under this abnormal level of tension. So another way to look at this metaphor by changing it a little bit is to see this experiment we are conducting as making sure that nothing interferes, that ignorance doesn't interfere with the spring. And you can see the spring as your entire body. And then you make sure that no undue permanent tension is applied onto it by the belief to be a separate entity. Sometimes one way to do it is to observe the tensions, and they appear as a sense of lack. We can release them right away as much as we can. It's like gently taking back the spring to its natural condition. But also sometimes we have to look at the origin of this tension and to see that that which is really active and triggers them is a belief to be separate and limited. Once you understand that, then there is nothing left to do, because what we are contemplating now is the universe and our body as a spring which has been liberated, which is kept free from the tension of ignorance. And this body knows its position of minimal energy, and we go back to it, to its natural condition. We don't have to do anything for that end. Anything we do somehow may interfere with the natural process. It is not completely true, because sometimes we can do things that go in the right direction. It's called the yoga. But the most important aspect of it is to keep the body free from the interference of ignorance. And what I call the body for the rookies here is the experience of the body as it appears to us in the form of bodily sensations. So we are not here in some theory. We are dealing with the actual experience of bodily sensations. So there are two forms of relaxation. We could call them relative relaxation and absolute relaxation. Relative relaxation is the one which is usually understood, unfortunately, by yoga practitioners and other therapists. It has its place. For instance, it's a kind of relaxation we experience after having been involved in a type of activity that requires a lot of attention and a lot of tension in the muscles. Then this tension remains after we stop the activity. It's often good then to give the body the opportunity to go back to its natural state after, at the end of this activity, so that the body can relax, just as we need to take a holiday to relax after a period of intense professional activity, for instance, or a student after preparing for final exams will take a break and relax. These are relative relaxations, but they are totally inefficient in removing the core tension in the body, deeper tensions that are due to ignorance and appear to us to the surface in the form of a sense of lack, a feeling of lack, that something is missing. This sense of lack is simply the desire of the body to go back to its natural state, the tension in the spring who wants to go back to its minimal energy condition. Thank you.